My services are needed. You know, every once in a while people realize that I serve a function not just to make jokes, but to also speak a lot of truth to power. And they realize that just so happens, you know, it's okay sometimes to be the guy nobody wanted to pick up on the team, because then you realize, you know what? I can go after everybody. And I can go after anybody, and I don't owe them. See, the only people that I owe are you guys that watch. And I'm so sorry, though I love you, I cannot bend to even your will. Because if I bend to your will, you no longer will like me, nor respect me. But all the rest of these politicians, all of them, including Bernie Sanders, if the time comes, I will call it what I see. And if you don't do that, you have no respect in the community. You have no reason being a leader in the community. You should not consider yourself a leader of said community. That's how that works. I didn't make the rules, Johnson. I just live by them. See, where I come from, if you didn't live by the rules, you don't get to be old man like me. You never get the chance to be 40. Hell, you might not get the chance to be 20 where I come from. If you didn't live by the rules. Anyway, I don't mean to get off track. I'm just saying. There's principalities. There are going to be consequences and repercussions. All right, guys, so I got a couple stories I want to run through. All of them are very great, so I'm just going to get started, okay? All of them are on point. You're going to love it. What's up, my people? What is it? Capitol Heights, what's up? What's up, C. Pleasant? What's up, Catman Pudge, the whole crew? I'm getting a lot of love from my homies from around the way, man. My brother, CJ, what's up, man, if you're watching? My other brother, Cool, what's up, man? Cool Breeze, what's going on? Keith, what's up? So, FEB crew in the house, Northwestern High School. I'm getting a lot of love lately from people that grew up with me from day one. So I want to show a little bit of that back. Jamal, what's up, man? All right, so let me get started, man. Nobody want to hear my roll call. I don't know these people. Like, who these people talking about? All right, so there's been a lot of conversation about Tulsi Gabbard. Anybody unaware of Tulsi Gabbard, we always got to remember there's some people that tune into this show who are new to this stuff. They've been doing other things like working, raising children, taking care of mom, serving bids for weed. Compliments of Joe Biden. So we got to bring people up to speed. Tulsi Gabbard is representative out of Hawaii. And look, there's been conversation because today she sort of did something that some people would deem as a violation. She came out, she said, hey, you know, I got this healthcare thing I'm going to do. I'm on this other healthcare tip. Now, how can I say this the best way possible? Some people feel hoodwinked by Tulsi Gabbard's decision that Medicare-For-All and the Bernie Sanders package is not the package that she fully supports. I'm getting conflicting reports about exactly what that means. I have yet to speak to Tulsi directly. I would love to do so. Hey, Tulsi, we can talk directly. Hey, if the Skype don't work, you can phone in, as long as your voice is on the line. And I ask you some straightforward questions. It won't take more than 10 minutes, 15 minutes of your time. But until then, we will let the record speak. So people upset about Tulsi Gabbard not embracing Medicare-For-All. I understand the frustration that people feel about Tulsi Gabbard at this moment about this because Tulsi Gabbard has given people the impression that she did support it. What I find ironic is there are people blaming Bernie Sanders supporters for feeling hoodwinked, and some Tulsi supporters. Don't get it twisted, some Tulsi supporters. In fact, I want to go to something real quick because I want to show you this is just one message that I received, and I thought I'd cook this up real quick before I came on, just to show you what people are thinking. Not what I'm thinking, what the people are thinking. Now, this is someone who messaged me this, and it says, is Tulsi really moving away from Medicare-For-All, man? Love it so much. But I don't know if I can vote for her if she does. Medicare for All is desperately needed. I shared that with you because I want you to understand that this is not a fabrication of mine. I'm not coming up with this stuff and then just using it to get hits, or I'm not smearing. This ain't propaganda. Real people have real questions, and this is called a ripple effect throughout the supportive, the engaged. Because let's just keep it real, guys. Anybody who's paying attention to politics now and previous, these are people that are really engaged in the process. These people are emotionally connected for whatever reason. They are either political junkies or emotionally connected to what's going on in our country policy-wise, or they are activists. The average American ain't tuned in yet. They hear something every once in a while. They'll see a debate and they'll watch 2 minutes and fast forward or go watch something else on Netflix. Go jump on Amazon Prime or Roku or whatever they do. So these people that are paying attention now are engaged folks who feel a certain kind of way about Tulsi Gabbard, if they are Tulsi Gabbard supporters or Bernie Sanders supporters. So the Tulsi Gabbard So one of the arguments is that Tulsi Gabbard hasn't changed at all. That her decision, the way that things stand now, where Tulsi Gabbard says she supports access to health care. Access to health care is what she says she supports. We're going to get to exactly what she said there. First, I want to lay the foundation for explaining to you why people have the impression that Tulsi Gabbard supports Medicare for All. How they drew that conclusion.
Support Medicare for All, and I want to tell you why. It is unacceptable that in our support Medicare for All, and I want to tell you why. Support Medicare for All, and I want to tell you why. It is unacceptable that in our country we pay far more for healthcare than any other country in the world, yet we have far worse outcomes. It's unacceptable for anyone to be sick and in need of care and not able to get that care simply because they don't have enough money. Medicare for All would take out that insurance company that we are writing a big check to every month by taking out that bloated administrative fees and the heavy profits that insurance companies are making on the backs of sick people in this country, and instead write that check for Medicare for All, where we would have that coverage for everyone. There's a lot of things that we have to look at what are driving the high cost of healthcare. So on its own, Medicare for All is not going to solve everything. We have to address the high cost of prescription drugs. Right now, Medicare today still can't negotiate with prescription drug companies to bring down that cost of healthcare. That has to change. Being able to re-import drugs from places like Canada at a cheaper price is something that we have to be able to do. Focusing on preventive health care and trying to make it so that less people are getting sick in the first place is a great investment that we can make in this country. So I believe that we have to come at this from a comprehensive approach, from a holistic approach, as we look to bring down the cost of health care and make sure that everyone who needs that care, who wants that care, is able to access it.
One of the reasons why many people out there who support Tulsi Gabbard, who have donated money to her campaign or what have you, feel that Tulsi Gabbard has changed course is because Johnson, she did some doublespeak there. Oh yeah, at the risk of offending people, she said she supports Medicare for All, but that doesn't mean she supports Medicare for All. She said there are a lot of things. She said much in that statement. Are we forgetting that we're talking about politicians? We're obviously forgetting that we're talking about politicians. I could play that clip to you again, and now that you are listening for it, I want you to pay attention. This is her first town hall on CNN. Her town hall on CNN. This is a couple months ago. None of us, I didn't report this. It got past me. She was sending signals then that though she likes the spirit of Medicare for All, though she likes what Medicare for All is about, she doesn't think it's good enough, or she doesn't think it's going to get the job done. She really doesn't support it. Now, I know she signed on to it. Similar to Kamala Harris, she signed on to it. Kamala Harris is endorsed Medicare for All. A lot of people endorse it, but in the spirit of the legislation. Now, I want to play it one more time, just so it's not just me saying it. I want you to realize why people thought one thing and why she may have meant another thing, and how this is kind of easy to miss. Let's go one more time.
Medicare for All, and I want to tell you why. It is unacceptable that in our support Medicare for All, and I want to tell you why. Support Medicare for All, and I want to tell you why. It is unacceptable that in our country we pay far more for healthcare than any other country in the world, yet we have far worse outcomes. It's unacceptable for anyone to be sick and in need of care and not able to get that care simply because they don't have enough money. Medicare for All would take out that insurance company that we are writing a big check to every month by taking out that bloated administrative fees and the heavy profits that insurance companies are making on the backs of sick people in this country, and instead write that check for Medicare for All, where we would have that coverage for everyone. There's a lot of things that we have to look at what are driving the high cost of healthcare. So on its own, Medicare for All is not going to solve everything. We have to address the high cost of prescription drugs. Right now, Medicare today still can't negotiate with prescription drug companies to bring down that cost of healthcare. That has to change. Being able to re-import drugs from places like Canada at a cheaper price is something that we have to be able to do. Focusing on preventive healthcare and trying to make it so that less people are getting sick in the first place is a great investment that we can make in this country. So I believe that we have to come at this from a comprehensive approach, from a holistic approach, as we look to bring down the cost of healthcare and make sure that everyone who needs that care, who wants that care, is able to access it.
Now that we played it back again, do you kind of see what I mean by Tulsi Gabbard? You may have got the impression that she was in more support of Medicare for All than she actually is or was. Look, so I don't know if people are aware of this. This is the thing I've described before with Amy Klobuchar and Kamala Harris and a number of other folks. It's called ear fatigue. Ear fatigue. It's when they'll start off with something that grabs you, they'll make a declarative statement, and then for the next 30 seconds or so, it'll be just information that's not really germane to what the question was. The intention of this ear fatigue strategy, and it is a strategy, Johnson, is to get you off the scent of reality, of truth. It's a political skill. Tulsi Gabbard, she answered the question, I support Medicare for All. She got a big applause from the audience. People clapped. The lady who asked the question, she smiled, she beamed, because people want Medicare to be a human right that we just get, that we don't have to pay for at point of service, in deductibles, or in co-payments. That's what the intent, that's what you hear when you hear Medicare for All. We're all good. We're all good is what you get. But Tulsi Gabbard proceeded to talk for another 40 seconds just describing why she supports Medicare for All. And then she proceeded to say, Medicare for All doesn't do everything we needed to do. Or Medicare doesn't do everything we needed to do. And then she talked about pharmaceuticals. Then she talked about importing medications from other countries. Then she talked about preventive illnesses. Then she talked about holistic approaches and preventive care or no, more complete comprehensive care. And then she ended it by saying we need to bring down the cost. Bring down the cost. Bring down the cost of healthcare. There is no, You're not going to pay, right? It's going to be in your tax. Your taxes will go up a little bit, but you're not going to pay a point of service. You're not going to pay CC. So, in my opinion, based on what I've been seeing, now that I'm looking back at it, Tulsi Gabbard, I wouldn't say she was being dishonest at all. I think we assumed, based on the wording, based on the way that she phrased, the phraseology, that she was in more support of Medicare for All than she actually was. Sounds a little bit like some people fell for the banana in the tailpipe. Now, I get it. Some people, Medicare for All is not an issue for them. It's cool. It's nice to have Medicare for All. But as long as, people have access to health care, they're good. I'm not one of those people. I'm a father, now a grandfather. I have aging parents. I have cousins who have illnesses. I have friends, neighbors. Healthcare is my number one issue, followed very, very, very closely by mass incarceration. Some people, their number one issue is peace and the ending of wars. But it's not over there, because there's more about this subject, about Tulsi Gabbard and Medicare for All, because now we see, and I hope you saw it in that clip, that I believe there's a little bit of sleight of hand there, Johnson. It's a little bit of politics being played here. Medicare for All is vastly, vastly respected or thought fondly of by most Americans, by a lot of Americans. The majority of Americans like the idea of Medicare for All. Most Americans are not running around going, I love Aetna. I love Blue Cross Blue Shield. I love, whatever their provider is. They might love their doctor. But nobody goes, Aetna's my friend. No one sends Aetna a card. No one leaves cookies out for Aetna. No one gives a damn about Aetna. So that's a problem, because people were led to believe that Tulsi Gabbard was a big supporter of Medicare for All. I'm on the Tulsi Gabbard website right now, and we're going to go to issues. Tulsi record on the issues. And as you can see here, she has healthcare for all, racial justice, a number of things here. But our focus, of course, is healthcare for all, right? Healthcare for all. Open that up. And this is where I got the video from. This video, Tulsi was letting people know where she stood. Here goes the quotes. Too many people in this country are getting sick without the care they need. As president, I will work to ensure all Americans have quality health care, incentivized to increase health. Because I think a lot of people, and I'm one of those people, man, and this is my job to try to get this stuff right. If you look here, no one should be forced to choose between putting food on the table. If you look at other countries, yeah, she's talking about all these great things we need to improve our insurance, but she doesn't use the term Medicare for All in this under her health care tab, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. She didn't use it. So she says, hey, I support Medicare for All. Let me restate this. Someone says to you, they say, hey, do you support us having pizza? Yeah, pizza's great. I love pizza. Let me tell you why I love pizza. Pizza, it originated in Italy. It comes in different styles. If you go to Chicago, you can get your thick crust pizza, your deep dish pizza. You go to New York, you get your flat pizza with the bigger slices. You go to D.C., you get something, I don't even know what it is. You can get all types of toppings, from anchovies to pineapples. I'm from Hawaii. I love Hawaiian pineapples on my pizza. Pizza's fantastic. Everyone should get it. It's affordable. It's the worst thing you can eat. It's not fried. It's not like eating, fried food. It can be wholesome. It can have great sauce. There's different ways you can prepare it. And spaghetti is great. And I think spaghetti provides something for us that will better suit us and be a little more nutritious than pizza. So, if we move forward with some spaghetti, you're going to love spaghetti. But I support you if you get pizza. And I ain't buying no pizza, I'm buying spaghetti. I got some spaghetti here if you want it. See what I did there? You got tired of hearing me talk. You got lost on the way. You got caught up in as I described the ingredients and said pizza. Now, there's something else here that we may have missed. And I'll just run it real quick, guys. Check this out, Johnson.
In terms of healthcare, where are you on the spectrum of,
We've been hearing a lot about that.
Yes, Medicare-For-All
Yeah.
or improve Obamacare.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Well, first, let me just say our objective has to and must be making sure that no person, no American who is sick in this country should go without care because they can't afford it. That's why I have been and continue to be a supporter for Medicare-For-All that would guarantee that health care, that quality health care for every single American in this country. I also believe, like every other developed country in the world that has universal health care, that there is a role for private insurance to play for those who want it.
Do you think for those who are embracing taking away private insurance from people, ultimately, is that just strategically, politically, a non-starter?
I don't know about the politics of it. I just think about it from the perspective of people, of the American people, that if all of a sudden you are taking away their choice, that's not a very American thing, in my opinion. I think our responsibility as leaders is to meet the challenge and address the problems that people are facing, that they are suffering because of big insurance and big pharma's influence over our healthcare system for so long, how they are profiting on the backs of sick people. So let's do our job, try to bring down the cost of healthcare in this country that's exorbitant, make sure people can get the quality care they need, and if they still choose that that's not what they want, they can go get the private insurance.
I asked.
How many people saw that clip before and thought it was kind of weird, like they didn't kind of get what she was saying? And so how many of us overlooked it because, well, darn it, Tulsi Gabbard had just destroyed Kamala Harris, and frankly, we were so enthralled with it. We were emotional high. She had just went up there and said, I know for me, guys, let me speak for myself, okay? For someone who has been talking about Kamala Harris's record, I feel like I'm shouting it into a cave, an empty cave, for over, 16 months. We've been talking about it since 2016. There's this woman, she's full of it, and the Democrats like her. And she's dangerous and she's bad for us. She has a horrible record. And then we get Tulsi Gabbard. She goes up on the world stage and she says it all and then some. I kind of overlooked what she said with Anderson Cooper, but as you look back at it, it was kind of clear as day. She said she supports Medicare-For-All. And then she used a couple of Republican talking points to describe it being taking something away from people. Yeah, Tulsi, they be taking something away from people. It's called deductibles. It's called co-payments. It's called getting your coverage dropped. It's called pre-existing conditions. See you later. Go die at home. That's something that will be taken away. There's this thing going on right now with Medicare-For-All. Very popular within the country, not so popular with the politicians. They like running on it, but they don't want to stick with it because there's a reason. I don't want to assume, but it'll appear to be the reason had something to do with how the upper echelon, the establishment, feels about it. I mean, that or the lobbyist, or that or the big pharmaceutical industry, or somebody who's getting paid. When at the end of the day, when I'm not sure, I can't put my finger on it, and I have no smoking gun, I just say money. See, the idea is that we want to get private insurance away because private insurance, people should not be making a profit off of caring for people's health. And in those other countries where they have a private insurance industry, are they scumbags to the extent that we are here, where everything is make a dollar? Like, are people dying in those countries because those private insurers are determining who can get coverage, and they got a panel of people trying to decide not to cover your ass? Like, is that a problem in these other countries where you can go get private insurance to cover certain stuff? And another thing, there have been people who have been saying, Tim Black, man, what about the public option? Public option, public option. All Tulsi Gabbard wants to do is add a public option. Well, you know what? A public option is not the same thing as Medicare-For-All. I have an article here. I'll put the description up when I put the video out. It's from the New York Times. It's back in February. And they go over all of the insurance options, all the insurance flavors, the different flavors from Medicare to Medicare-For-All, socialized medicine, universal coverage, and a public option. And they break it all down and make it crystal clear what each is. And I can tell you right now, there are differences between Medicare-For-All and a public option. It's not the same thing. It's disingenuous for people to say, hey, well, you're saying Medicare-For-All, but you get your public options, all she's saying. That's not the same thing. Bear with me. Let's first define what is Medicare-For-All. Medicare-For-All is a popular term coined to describe a system in which all Americans, not just older ones, are covered under a government plan, the Medicare system. Mr. Sanders, who prominently featured such a plan in his 2016 presidential platform and just announced he has joined the 2020 race, uses this term a lot. His plan would both expand traditional Medicare to cover all Americans and change the structure of the program to cover more services, eliminate most deductibles and co-payments. So if we're saying that Medicare-For-All, one of the problems is it doesn't cover everything, well, that means it needs to be better. That does not mean we need to back away from it. That does not mean a public option is a solution. And if that's how you feel, why don't you say in the beginning, hey, I don't support Medicare-For-All. I support something else, and it's not Medicare-For-All. But let's just keep it real. Why is Pete Buttigieg, why are all these people using Medicare something in the title if it's not to confuse people? I mean, come on, guys. Bernie Sanders has been the only candidate running for the last 4 years on their healthcare plan, Medicare-For-All. Why are all these people coming out with different flavors of Medicare for something? Medicare for Medicare Choice and Medicare, like it, choose it if you like it, Medicare Banana Split, Medicare Tapioca, Medicare Hot Sauce on it, like all these different Medicare somethings. Well, it was only, come on, the only reason is they want to grab the share of the people that are interested or who want to support Medicare-For-All, who want Medicare-For-All, who see it positively. They want those voters, but they don't want that program. Public option. When lawmakers were writing the Affordable Care Act, which is where the public option came from, there was an extensive debate about whether it should include a public option. The idea didn't prevail in the end, but many Democrats now want to bring it back. You can think of a public option as something of a compromise between a single-payer system and our current system, in which only certain Americans now qualify for government-run programs. More people, maybe many more, could get government insurance, but only if they wanted it. The idea of putting everybody in one system is not a public option system. Public option system keeps things as they are, keeps costs up because everyone's not in. As long as everyone's not in, private insurance can charge differing rates. They can choose to cover or not cover. If there's only one game in town, all insurance companies will have to play ball because it's coming from one place. Medicare-For-All. One package. That's it. You can't drop people. You can't pick and choose. One size fits all. So, look, someone said, Tim Black, look, don't cancel Tulsi Gabbard over this. Hey, I haven't canceled anybody. And if I was going to cancel someone, I'd start with Amy Klobuchar, John Delaney, Tim Ryan, Kamala Harris. There are many people I would cancel way before I got to Tulsi Gabbard, but I want to make it clear. I want to make it emphatically clear. I want to make it really, really clear that I don't like how this went down. I want to make it really, really clear, if you are a person who seeks truth, you're going to have to hear it. You should want to hear it. It may sting. You may be mad at me right now. You may think I'm being unfair to Tulsi Gabbard. Fine, think what you want to think. What I'm saying is, Medicare-For-All is an important issue for me. Me, Tim Black, it's an important issue for me. I wouldn't care who supports it. That's a person I support. A person who supports Medicare-For-All. I support that person's support of Medicare-For-All. To not support Medicare-For-All is a really big deal for me. It's not just a big deal for me. It's a big deal for a lot of people. There's nothing wrong with that being a big deal for you or anyone else. And it's not a cause to smear. It's not a cause to say, oh, Bernie supporters only like Bernie because he's a guy. First of all, Bernie ain't the most likable, charismatic, funny guy in the world. But I like that about him because that ain't why I'm voting for him. So don't come there. He's not attractive. He's not young and fresh. He's not new. He's not Andrew Yang making jokes every 2 seconds, deprecating and all that, all this stuff. He's not Beto O'Rourke jumping up on desks, thin as a rail. He's not brown. He's not gay. He's not a soldier, a veteran. He's not a lot of things, but damn it, I feel he's honest. Yeah. And I feel like he's willing to say, don't like it, see ya. He's willing to say, I don't agree or I do agree, and he won't just fool me or use politic-speak to skirt an issue. That's one of the things I like about him. I like cranky. I like uncompromising to a degree. I like that. So, just to end this segment, I just want you to know, I'm not telling you to cancel Tulsi Gabbard, but we are going to keep it 100 here. Tulsi Gabbard does not support Medicare-For-All, and she needs to stop saying she supports it. And those people who are upset with Bernie supporters or the Tulsi supporters that are upset with Bernie supporters, hey, I love you, man. I love you, ladies. I love you all, whoever you are, whoever you love, and however you love. And whatever gender you are, I could care less. I love you, human being. I love you, humanity. I love you, fellow human. Okay? Support who you want to support. We don't have to agree on everything. But what we aren't going to do is we aren't going to hide from the truth. This ain't about personality. This is about, look, when you watch a commentator, when you bring someone into your home or your smartphone, yeah, personality got something to do with it. Right? I would think, to a degree. You got to listen to them. They're talking. But when it comes to me choosing a president, personality is still important, but it's not everything. This is not a personality contest. And I know a lot of people vote for a lot of reasons, man. People and womans, people vote for a lot of reasons, and it's not always about the X's and the O's. Sometimes it's about a gut feeling. Sometimes it's about any of those things. One of the reasons why I stayed with Bernie Sanders is I had a gut feeling about what he stood for and what I could count on him to do. Okay? This ain't cancel culture. I don't believe in it. All right? But what I do believe in is truth and honesty. Tulsi Gabbard does not support Medicare-For-All. Stop saying you do. Stop starting a sentence with I support it if you don't support it, if you want something different. And if it's Jay Paul's Medicare-For-All program, well, you need to say that. And I would like to kindly, well, maybe not so kindly, Bernie Sanders supporters are the biggest donators to Tulsi Gabbard other than Tulsi Gabbard supporters. Bernie Sanders supporters dug down in their pocket to give to Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard has been a beneficiary of Bernie supporters who care about Tulsi Gabbard, who respect Tulsi Gabbard. To go after Bernie supporters for not going all in for Tulsi Gabbard doesn't make sense. You're going after the wrong people. There are people that you could go after who are choosing Amy Klobuchar over Tulsi. There are people you should go after who are backing Beto O'Rourke. Yeah. There's only about 5 of them, but there are people. There are people backing Cory Booker, Tom Steyer over Tulsi Gabbard. I'm amazed at the people that are giving Bernie Sanders supporters grief because they didn't switch to Tulsi. And then they're calling Bernie Sanders supporters misogynists or racist. It doesn't make sense. I repeat. And I would also venture to say, a lot of people who know, love, respect, admire, support, fight for, volunteer for, campaign for, sweat for, leave their family and go around the country for, canvass for, dial phones for, give their money for. Tulsi Gabbard may not even truly know who Tulsi Gabbard is if she hadn't endorsed Bernie Sanders. It's not the other way around. Now, I've been kind as I can be about this issue. Tulsi Gabbard, it would have been better to be straight up honest, pull the bandage off. I fault Tulsi Gabbard for not being more explicit and just saying, hey, I don't support this. Was it politically expedient to not be as verbose and detailed in her true policy position? And I also blame me. I blame me, guys. That's right. Me and colleagues like me who mean well. Kyle Kalinske, I know the guy means well. David Duell, I had problems with him. He had problems with him. But I think he means well. Humanist Report, Mike means well. We should have called this out before. We didn't. I know I didn't call it out before because, and I think Jimmy means well too. I didn't mean to leave Jimmy out. I didn't call it out before because I really like Tulsi Gabbard and I wasn't looking at it the way I should have. I wasn't being as critical of Tulsi Gabbard because frankly, she's good on so many things. I agree with her on so many things. And she was getting smeared so often that I just missed this one. So I want to apologize for anybody I misled on this issue. It's a combination of mistakes. All right. So what did we learn today? I think we learned that Tulsi Gabbard is a politician. I think she was a politician. I think we also learned that we should not put the cart before the horse on any candidate. Any candidate should deserve scrutiny. We also learned that some people may have a different opinion. Are they honest actors is what you got to ask yourself. You have to decide, is Tulsi Gabbard, is her plan? So go check out her plan. I understand that Nico House spending over an hour describing her plan and how it's better. And if maybe, do you. I love you anyway. I'm not here to decide who you support. I'm also not going to hide who I support, but I'm going to call it as straight as possible. We got other stories to get to. Let's get to them. If you're interested in it, I have encouraged people to donate to Tulsi Gabbard. If I would have known Tulsi Gabbard didn't support Medicare-For-All the way Bernie supports Medicare-For-All, I would have never told people to donate to her. That's me. Hell, I wouldn't have donated to her. I donated to her. I wouldn't have done it. That's me. So you could say, oh, we should know better and we should do this and we should do that. No, it is what it is. Okay? It is what it is. Shout out to all the Wolfpack and shout out to everybody who wrote me today, who sent me information, who chimed in on this. We don't have to agree on everything. It's cool. It's fine. Okay? It's fine. But this will be the last time. And now, I'm going to be looking closer. At everyone, for everything, closer. And let the chips fall where they may. All right, guys, let's keep it moving.